Hey folks, Dustin here with Get You Some Outdoors, and it's mid-April 2023. It's my first time out truly mushroom hunting. I went to a couple of my early spots a week ago or so and found a couple blacks, not much. I think I took a little footage, but I'll add that in if I did. But I'm going to try to guide you guys into being able to find, sorry about the sun, being able to find the mysterious morel. All right, so there's a few things you need to learn, and trees are one of them. So, unfortunately, the emerald ash borer has killed most of these, but this is an ash tree. And I've been walking around and I've checked numerous ash trees and numerous other kinds of trees, which we'll get over as we find mushrooms around them. But ash is a pretty good one. It's not my top choice tree to look at, but whenever I see a big old mature one, I definitely stop and look. For some reason, they seem to form a symbiotic relationship with some trees better than others, but it depends on the woods, depends on where you're at in the country, depends on a lot of variables, but there's just some that are better than others. Right? So here's the tree, and what I like to do is I look up at the top of the tree and see how big the canopy is of the tree. And that's pretty much my search area of when because I don't really mushroom hunt. I tree hunt and then look for mushrooms under the trees. And let's see here. And I just got to this one. And we got one. Right there, if you can see my shadow. Another tip is try to keep the sun to your back while you're mushroom hunting on sunny days. It's pretty difficult in my opinion. But there's number one. And we will continue on and see what happens. I've scoured around, but I haven't seen any more yet. Don't mean there's not any more here. Like I said, it's pretty bright out and it's hard for me to see with the shadows. I don't have them Morel glasses. I may try them one day, but I find a lot of year. But tips. I like to keep pruners with me. That way when you get into some briars, or you got some mushrooms deep in some briars, you can get in there without getting tore up. I also keep a knife with me normally, but it's deeper in my pocket right now. And I promise you, and I'll take you to a spot later, which since this mushroom's up, I usually find this mushroom this is the first mushroom I find almost every year. I believe I have a video. I don't know if I downloaded it to my computer, but I've picked the same mushroom last year. Anyway, cut them. It does make a difference. I don't care what people say. And if you look through, I don't know, I'll post a bunch of pictures that I've had throughout the years, but I find thousands of mushrooms every single year. Like my good days are 500 to 1,000 mushrooms. My bad days are 0 to 1 to 10. I love it, but I'm getting older, so I try to wait till they're up real good. That also keeps all that dirt out of that stump. And then I go ahead and cover it back up in case somebody else, because I'm out here on state property. Like anybody could be doing this today, just like I am. State property, at least in Indiana, you're allowed to pick them as long as it's not a national park or a nature preserve. NP in the acronym, it makes it easy for me. That stands for no picking. So, but state parks, county, city, and they grow everywhere, like literally everywhere. You never know what's going to cause these things to grow up. I find them in fields a lot, just probably dead briar bushes. I feel like they build a good relationship with them. All right, I'm going to continue on. Well, they must not be up. That's the only mushroom I found so far. at least on this side. I need to get to a better south-facing slope, but this is pretty neat. This is the, it's probably an Indiana box turtle. I'm not positive of that, but this is the smallest one I've ever seen in my entire life. It's gorgeous too. Pretty neat. Set him back and let him go. Gorgeous little turtle. Well, they weren't up in my spots on some state property, but like I said earlier, the reason that I cut them is so that they'll come back again next year. And I've been living on this property now for 7 years, and this will be, I didn't find them until 2 years in, so this will be my 5th, maybe 6th time picking these mushrooms. They should be here. I'm just gonna turn it around. I haven't been back. I've been back here once early 2 days ago, and there was one up, and it was about dried out, but they come back. Oop, I already see one. A pretty good size one too. All right. Now, why these come up so early though? If you notice, sorry, there's the mushroom. There's a few variables on this. Notice that that's a dark colored tree. In fact, very dark, almost black. It's not a tree that I normally find them around. As a matter of fact, this is the only woods I've ever found them around oaks. This is the only place I've ever found them around oaks. But it's consistent every year. I didn't mean to cut, but there's 2 right there. 1 right here. And I literally come through here. I'll show you a few other trees in a second. I'm gonna look around here, but this is where I find my earliest yellows. If you notice, my food plot is right there, and that direction that we're looking at is south, so the sun is constantly hitting this, no matter if it's in the east or the west. Just the angle of the ground, which makes a huge difference on temperature. Sorry about ground temperature. But I'm going to continue walking around here. But all these little oak trees in this spot, at the bases, right at the bases, and I believe it's a pin oak. Right off the roots, not very far, all the mushrooms. All right, we got another oak right there. Same path, same, everything's the same on this, in this area as far as setting. Ooh, there's a big one. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that. At all. And there's another one right at the end of it. Right there. And another big one. I am really in absolute disbelief right now. We did get a quick rain last night, I guess. Maybe there were some little ones here the other day that I didn't see. These are good sized mushrooms, folks. Just for reference, gotta zoom out. Pretty good one. Probably about 3.5 inches. It's big around too. And let's go over here to look. I'm gonna step on any. I really don't like stepping into these spots early like this because we're potentially stepping on ones that you can't see coming up out of the leaves yet. So right now we're at 6. Here's a little jack oak, but and another one and another one. So we're gonna check these 2 out too. Right. Let me clean my lenses. Well, we're gonna keep going. I didn't see any, but there's another one of them oak trees. Another pin oak. I'm assuming it's a minnow. It looks like it is a minnow. Oh, there's one right there at the base of it. Right there. Ooh. And one right there. That's a nice one. Can see that little one right there. I'll get closer to it in a minute. See, this is why I didn't see this one. That's why I don't like walking around when they're not all big yet. Because like I said, you'll lose them. I leave them to pick till they're full grown. That's just me personally, but I like eating big ones because there's more to eat. I'll pick a few, you know, to get me a little mess to start the year off, especially the black ones, which I really like. I just don't know where they grow. There's that little one. I can't believe I even saw that thing, really. That's what I figured I'd find quite a few of today. That's what I usually find out there on public. I don't leave them when they're that small, when they're that size on public. Sometimes I leave the real little ones, depending on the location. Yeah, I have many times, but let's see what else we can get a hold of. That's pretty neat. So we're up to about 10. Yep, no more that way. There's a couple more down there on my bike to look at, but I'm gonna walk over here. I found a few mushrooms here out in the open a few years back by that poplar stump I cut down. Pretty neat. I feel like that's a consequence, and those mushrooms I walked right to them because they're there every single year. And they're the earliest ones that grow on my property. They were larger than I expected by quite a bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and check my second earliest spot for yellers, which is a very large south-facing elm. It is mostly alive, but every year this will be my 7th year finding mushrooms by this tree, as long as they produce. Doesn't produce a whole lot, but usually somewhere between 3 and 10 as the season goes along. And there's the first one. Looks like something ate the top off of it, or a slug, or maybe it didn't grow that way. Folks, I hope you notice that I'm searching for trees and then finding the mushroom. Now we're gonna pick this one because its top's missing, it's fresh looking. Oh, there was 2 there too. 2 tops missing. There's the top. That probably got knocked off in the rain. But anyway. Well, it's upon us fast because I just looked over. And there's number 3 trying to pop up here. Boy, we get another couple rains and the temperatures cool off like they're supposed to. We don't get a couple 100-mile-an-hour winds like we've been getting here to last forever. I don't know, 5, 7, 8 years. It's windy all the time. Seems that way anyway. Cool. Stay tuned. I really was not expecting this today. I don't know if you can see it in the shade right there. Nah, you can't. It's a pretty good size on that. Cannot believe it doesn't show up. That's a shade. It's still doesn't show up. There it is. Man, like I said, I was not expecting to find these. I hope you guys are picking up on what I'm trying to say, or I guess learn something here. I don't know everything about mushrooms, but I find a lot of them. And we're going to continue to look because these little areas protected from the wind that get sun all day, they've got mushrooms, that's evident. So get you some outdoors, folks. I'm going to leave these for my children to pick, and that's why I don't pick a lot of them on my property. So teach your youth hunter-gatherer techniques just in case. Let them know where their food comes from. And we'll be back with more.